making their PCB. In other words, we're going to send it off and you're going to have a piece of hardware come back. Okay. Most, I think. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, we need a mechanism to do this. Now, we need enough time to turn it round. And if you look at the calendar on the board, this is what we were just doing. It's obviously it occurs at different times each year, so we need to do it calculated separately. Now, the 15th, so tomorrow, we've got tomorrow's session obviously. Tuesday week, the 15th, will be 1 week before the end of term. If we set the 15th of the 3rd, 15th of March, if you want that PCB made, and I'm going to put this video on Moodle and YouTube, and then send you a link to it in your email, so you don't need necessarily to write this down. By the 15th of the 3rd, your Gerber files need to be mailed to Mike Walton, the chap with the long hair, Mike Walton, essex.ac.uk. You want your Gerber zip file. We showed you how to do that, there's a video on that. We also want, contained in your email, your student name and reg ID number. Okay? Without that, there's not much we can do. We want your board to be 100mm by 100mm. Now that's quite generous. That's
maximum.
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 Doesn't
Minimum
need to be.
Size of a pinhead if you want. But 100mm square, that's a big lump of PCB if you think about it. So you need to put the dimensions on there because we will not make anything bigger than 100mm square. Okay, so we'll just reject them. We won't tell you we rejected them, we just won't send them off. So 100mm square is the maximum size that you can have. And 2 layers, are we insisting it has to be 2 layers?
Maximum. They can do a single layer if they want.
You can do a single layer if you want, but you can't have any more than 2-layer PCB. Okay? Now, if we do that on the 15th, we'll send it on the 16th, which means that we should, in principle, have that back for the 21st, which is going to be your first session in the last week of term. So if you wanted to solder components on there, you could. It's not an absolute insistence because you are probably going to prototype on breadboard, right? So you can demonstrate that it works okay, but I know some people like to see the job through and get those components soldered on that board, or even just hold the board in their hand. It's a nice thing to do. Get a photograph of it, whatever. But it's a real thing, okay? So if you want it for real, Gerber zip, Mike Walton, by Tuesday the 15th. In other words, the close of play next week on the Tuesday session. All your Gerbers zipped up, student name and ID, that's easy enough to do. Measure it, no bigger than 100 by 100, and 2 layers max. Does anyone have any questions about that? And they will go off to China. Well, they'll go off on a fibre optic cable first, but they'll come back, DHL, in an aeroplane to Heathrow, and they should be back here within probably 2 days, 3 days from when we send it. So that's how fast the turnaround is for those, but we need to get the mechanism in place first, so we've got to get it signed off with finance and all the rest of it. Is that okay?